Yo, 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 we have another episode of Flag on the Culture. I got Aaron with us tonight. Aaron, how you feeling tonight, man?
Feeling good, man. Feel like we could throw a couple flags on the coaches, man. Slow week for me, man, but it's still going. Summer coming up, but man, it's all good though. How you been, Coach Ike? How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. We tearing up the internet, man. Having some great conversations. Our guest, Coach Mills, last week, man. It was an awesome, awesome conversation. For those who haven't checked out, make sure you guys go to the YouTube page, World Elite, and check out that YouTube video, the full episode. It was a lot of great insight, a lot of controversial conversations we was having, but it was much needed, much needed. What was your thoughts about the episode?
Man, one of the I know we just getting started, man, but that was a great way to get started, man. We came with firepower with that one. I feel like and really just opening up people's minds, giving them the understanding on you could be vulnerable. You could take the time to share what you've been through to help you move, to help you progress in life, to help you get somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that was a great episode, man. I really I was already inspired by him before we even got on the episode, and we've been inspired by him for years. So that just right there was just a conversation for us, just a normal conversation. That them is our everyday conversations when we do talk on the phone right there. Of course, besides going into deep detail and stuff like that, but man, that was a man. I think that was a that's one of our hitters, man. I think that's one of our hitters. That's one of our flag on the culture hitters right there.
That's a fact, man. We're gonna have some more guests for you guys, but tonight is just me and Aaron. Before we get into the show, we're gonna discuss what we got going on. So for Authority Sports, we have group training Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Make sure you guys DM me to get location of where we at. At the same time, we have our DB membership, where it's virtual, it's a hybrid, where you take your game to the next level at the same time, build up confidence, and you making plays, man. And there's no more excuse of why you can't be great wherever you are. So you guys definitely want to check that out. And what you got going on?
Man, very similar, man. We got our summer camps coming up starting on June 11th. We'll go Wednesday, Friday, and Saturdays. At 8:30 in the morning, we'll start our camps at 8:30 in the morning and go about 10 o'clock. With our summer group camps, we really mainly get like a lot of development. We get a lot of kids out. We get a ton of kids out. And we get kids from every school here in St. George area. We get about, I try to average 3 to 4 kids from each different school just so they can understand that they are competing with other people from different districts and stuff like that. But man, it's gonna be a real good summer for me. I think it's gonna be a real good summer for me and the kids developing, and ultimately for the Not Easy Broken Fitness program, man. So, like I said, June 11th, we got a camp that starts June 11th. We got 12 sessions for $300. You can't beat that. You can't beat that nowhere. You got 12 sessions for $300 for the month, and it carries over into the next month if you want to purchase sessions. So you can continue to train. You're not on contract. You're not on contract. So if you come for a month and you don't like it, you don't have to come for the next month. But if you do like it, then of course you'll pay for an additional 12 more sessions that next month. So we'll have a 90-day summer training session here in St. George, Little Valley Fields, where we'll just be developing the kids, man. Just showing them what the hard work is about. Just showing them what it is to separate yourself, because as we know, Coach Ike, as we know, your in-season results start now.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, we got a good one. We got a good one tonight, man. Let's let's start off here, man. Let's start off. So Patrick Peterson, great defensive back, announced his retirement, played for the Cardinals, recently just ended his career with the Steelers. But he was on Cam Newton's show, and he was discussing like his preparation for how he was able to each week prepare for every receiver. Did you see that clip?
I seen a small clip of it. Yep, I seen a real small clip of it. I seen the clip that y'all know exactly what you're talking about.
So what are your thoughts on his preparation and how detailed he was for him to lock in, man.
Man, so Arnez, I played quarterback in high school. I played quarterback in youth. I'm right with him. I'm right with him. You have to be that detailed. Like you have to be that detailed. So I agree with him. I agree with him on that situation. I agree with him on um his breakdown. I agree on him on his details. I agree with that, man. I was very similar to that. Of course, I'll give my experience, but it's not definitely not about me at the moment. But like I said, I agree with what Patrick Peterson said. What you think about that?
Man, I think it shows that's what separates the good from the great. I talk about it all the time. There's a lot of everybody's an athlete, especially at the DP position. But in order to be really great, you need to be able to have that preparation that separates yourself. I had Ladarius Webb, Super Bowl champ for the Ravens, on my podcast, everything uncovered, and he shared how Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, how all they did was study film, and Patrick Peterson, his was a little more meticulous as far as details, right? He broke it down, and it shows why his first 7 years he was all Pro Bowls. He he had the breakdown. Now, of course, as you get higher, right, as you get older, you kind of do those same things, but at the same time, it becomes more on your own the higher you go. Rather, when you go on college, when you go and playing professional, for sure, for sure professional. But yeah, it just really shows, if you really want to play at the high level, that the kids you really need to lock in. And I know a lot of young men and young women who they really don't understand that side of it. So it just shows like, hey, if you really about this and you really want to play at the highest level, you're gonna have to do some things that you had never done before and do it at a high level.
Yeah, you got to put yourself out there. You got to fully extend yourself. Um, I got a question for you. How was your preparation? How similar was your preparation um in college? How similar was your preparation to what Patrick Peterson said?
So man, I was truly blessed, man. At Mount Sac, this is why I think Mount Sac is the greatest JUCO. And I was blessed with two great defensive back coaches, and Coach Meat, Coach Demetrius Martin, and Dante Williams, both at UCLA and at Georgia. Man, they taught me how to watch film and really how to break down film, and not necessarily from the point as far as like what is my responsibility, but what everybody else is doing. And this is why I think I'm very unique as well. I played safety in college. I played free safety. So I actually was the one who was in charge of audibles and seeing things and being in constant communication. So when seeing that and understanding those things of what Patrick Peterson was talking about, I definitely understand like the new nuance of where the receiver lining up as far as for formations. If a receiver, if he's getting the ball, if he's not getting the ball, all these little things and telltale signs that people don't even necessarily understand. I continued that on to my professional career. Now the thing about it, when you get professional though, it's a a little more detailed because depending on in college it's a little easier because sometimes it depends on the offense. And
Yeah, like I
arena
said,
football, yeah, and arena football is all passing. So you really, really gotta
you
lock in
got
and
to hone
see.
in on how he play, run their routes, the
Yeah.
depth.
And everybody run their routes different and whatnot, and
Yeah,
how everybody gets open. And what people don't understand is watching film doesn't indicate you playing against somebody. Like watching film, you really can't tell how fast somebody is, how shifty somebody
uh,
is. Until you finally play them, you're like, oh, okay. And especially, playing arena football, it's a lot of guys you never heard of. There's a lot of guys who should be playing in a professional league, rather CFL or NFL. So yeah, I definitely think, that was high level. And I think, it gives a glimpse of what it takes to be at the next level and producing at a high level.
so take us through week one preparation, starting from Monday all the way to Saturday
So
of yours. Take us through your week one of how you would do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, game day.
So I would do it completely different than what I was taught, because I just understand first things first. And the most important thing for me is red zone. So I would watch red zone. That's what I would do, because that's where touchdowns are at. As playing DB, right, giving up yardage, that stuff is not important. It's about not scoring and getting the ball back. So I would watch film on red zones and what their plays are, especially the offense. And now I honestly I don't really watch receivers so much. I look for tails. I try to understand the offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator is the one
Oh, he'll tell
who
you everything.
who tells you like, oh, we're trying to get the ball to these people.
Yeah.
So when you look at the stats, and that's the stats is going to tell you the story of who their guys are, right? And how they use them. You might have a guy who is a baller, but he has no touchdowns in the red zone. And you look at the film, there's reason why is because they're running the ball in the red zone. So now it's like, okay, I don't necessarily need to worry about him. But then if you look out in the field, all his touchdowns come from out in the field. He might be running screens, he might be running bombs, stuff like that. So you need to understand just how to watch the film. After Tuesday, then now we're going into watching out in the field and more so coming out. So when they backed up, and each offensive coordinator is different. Some of them are a lot of are preservative, or they want to be safe. They want to run the ball, do screens. Some will come out throwing the ball deep and try to get penalties. Understanding that, then Wednesday, that's when it's getting to the middle of the field and then seeing what they do on third and fourth downs, right? Um, and then Thursday we go over. I look at the first and second downs, and then Friday I would look at third and fourth downs again, and then I would look at the red zone again, and then Saturday, of course, depending on when we play or whatnot professionally, or in high school as a coach, I would put it all together again, looking at the red zone again because that's the most important to me, and then looking up, those shots, on the field where they like to take shots, and then third and fourth downs, understanding, personnel and who they want to get the ball to. So I like to do things a little bit different from everyone else because I think red zone is the most important because that's if you protect the red zone, most likely you're gonna win the game. So that's how I break down film. Now,
Yeah, that's cool. That's I wouldn't even call it that's your own way because it's somebody that do it like that, but they don't do it into detail like that. You know what I'm saying? Like mine was similar, but it was a little different. And this is just going into this is week one, no week one new coaching staff on the other team. Um, don't really know the coaching staff. We just know who the coaches are, the names and stuff like that. So just say for example, if we had a game if Monday, my preparation was I'm watching all the guys I'm guarding. I'm watching receivers, tight ends, um, looking at their name, looking up where they from, because that has a lot to do with it for me. For me, that has a lot to do with what type of player you are. That's what I feel like. I feel that where you from has a lot to do with what type of talent you're gonna bring, what type of dog you are. I even go back to if I'm just saying from a perspective, if I was in college right now, um, I'll go back to their high school film. Whoever I'm watching, I'll go back to their high school film and see if they run a post the same way. Do you run this post the same way? Do you run this curl the same way that you've been running it from high school? So then it allows me to have an understanding that in college, all you did was add depth.
yep.
So for me, that's a breakdown on Monday. Then Tuesday would be fixing what I did on Monday in practice, before practice. So I would get there at like 5:15 in the morning, 5:15 in the morning, and go over everything that I messed up on, which wasn't a lot because you know how practice is. Practice is like 15 minutes this, 15 minutes that, 20 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest thing that I did in practice was limit my mistakes. So if I messed up on something on Monday, I did my best not to mess up on it on Tuesday. The reason why I was like that was because by the time you get to the end of the week and you've had so many mess ups, you're going into the game messed up and worried. You get what I'm saying? So I'm coming at 5:30 to correct those mess ups. So now I'm going into the practice the next day confident. Wednesday, now I'm looking at quarterbacks. Break all the quarterbacks down 1 through 4. And look at the offensive coordinator. See how long the offensive coordinator been there, like you said. Same telltale signs and stuff like that. And break down, well, how does quarterback throw? How does this quarterback throw the ball? How does this quarterback how does he put the ball when a guy's wide open? Go back and watch the quarterback, the first and second string. I'm not watching third and fourth string, sorry, but at Mount Sac they used to tell us we want to see the second string quarterback. So we always seen a second string quarterback, and the third string, like they're about to do all runs now at this point. They got to change their playbook.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of like my mindset when it comes to stuff like that. Then let's say like Thursday more so now watching what linemen give up indicators of it being a pass or a run. What linemen give up the indicators is 76 always up. Is 76 down? Is it crown to the ground? Just small little stuff like that is what I do. Then Friday will be a walkthrough day, but a walkthrough day for the whole team, as of course, as you know, this is in college. We have a walkthrough day, small, slight little walkthrough day, but it's not a walkthrough day for me. I turn it up a notch. I lift, and then I apply everything that I've learned that week. And now I'm working on how he runs his routes. Does he speed up at the top of the route? Does he slow down at the, you get what I'm saying? So now I'm backpedaling those things. Then by the time Saturday come, all I'm doing is now going back to my scouting report. I'm going back to my scouting report, and I'm looking at my scouting report, and I'm like, okay, check, 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 check. Now it's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So my preparation was more so my biggest thing was, where are you from? Where are you from? Like, to me that mattered, bro, because I know the guys that come from our city, what we bring, what comes with it. We know we're gonna get some attitude. We know we're gonna get, for me, let me just say for me, the type of player that I was. You're gonna get some attitude. You're gonna get a high risk, high reward player. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna get somebody who's passionate about what they're doing, but has to understand how to direct that passion in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Just because the environment that I did come from. And I'm not making excuses or anything like that. I'm just, that's why I look at environment, because if I see starting 11 guys is all from Utah, I'm running through y'all straight out. Now that I know how Utah think about football, they go on Instagram and they just try to go outside and do that, and then they think they're that. Oh, I got something for you.
Yeah.
So that was like my style of preparation. You know what I'm saying? My understanding, like my biggest thing was, where are you from, and are you still doing the same tactics and things from high school, youth, and stuff? Have you been enhanced with the new coaching you got? That's the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? I could see a difference from my first year when I played special teams at Dixie State to when I came back, trained a whole summer, came back and started and broke the interception record. So I know the difference in between preparation and stuff like that. But I know it's, your environment has a lot to do with that.
No, facts. And you kind of just brought that up, because that's kind of going into our next topic is it environment versus talent? And what I mean by this is, right, and we're just going to keep it to the DB position. Are you alone, stand alone? Are you the reason why your team was successful, or the reason why you was good? Or was it because of your team? And so there's a correlation between the D-line and the DBs. If you got a monster D-line, you don't need to be as good as someone who doesn't have a D-line. Huh?
Y'all don't need to be that good on the back end.
Exactly. So this is what I mean by, is it environment over versus talent? What do you think about that?
Bro, I only got 3 picks at Mount Sac. We played BTF and cover 0 90% of the time.
Yep.
All my picks were in Sally.
Uh-huh.
Is that Sally, Sarah?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, all my picks was in Sally and Sarah because of how quick our lineman was getting there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So we literally we playing, we playing bracket, first out, first in. Oh man, as soon as you take your third step, the quarterback getting ready to throw that ball. So
All coming out.
I think it's I you're right about the D line and you're right about D line and DB correlation, but then I went to Dixie State and had 12 picks. You know what I'm saying? So it is a big difference. But then we didn't play a lot of man, and I got a lot of picks in zone. So environment, bro, because my is environment. I really think it's environment because the type of person that I am allowed me to better those around me. So I'm not gonna take credit for making my team better because I think we all make the team better with your own enhancements in your ability. You know what I'm saying? It's not like basketball where you got like an Anthony Edwards or a LeBron James and they just go. You get what I'm saying? And if they put up 45 points, you know they're gonna win. You know, it's not a situation like that, and I don't feel like that. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't put myself in a situation to say like, oh, they winning because of me. No, I've done good things and I've done bad things. They've lost because of me as well. So I'm kind of like in the middle, you know what I'm saying, as far as how that goes. But as far as environment versus talent, man, I think environment strikes first. Like I think environment definitely has a big impact on the talent that you're around and the talent that how talented you are. Not you per se, but you in general.
Yeah, the individual. So I think it's both. I think it's both, and I think the higher you go, especially in NFL, it's based off talent. So environment for the most part, right, is for me is as a team, whatever as you win, right? They say everybody's supposed to eat, right? But at the same time, especially playing DB, I know a lot of DBs, and you can hide a corner in high school. You can hide a corner in college. I know coaches. I know players who've been hidden. I know as a coach, we used to hide a player at.
And put a safety right over the top.
You feel me? So you definitely can still win regardless of your environment. Shoot, if you got that front seven, it's good. And this is why I've been saying this is nothing new, but I always said this is why Alabama DBs are not better than LSU because LSU LSU, they definitely got some ballers. Don't get me wrong, but Alabama front seven from linebackers to D line, for the most time are the better. They're number one in the country. So me playing coverage, I don't necessarily need to cover long. And if I am covering, the ball not gonna come out accurate because somebody getting pressure, the quarterback got to scramble, all these things, right? Which helps me as a DB. Now, this is where guys get exposed at because when you get drafted to the NFL and you don't have the pressure, you don't have that same scheme you in, and now you actually got to cover, and it's like, oh man,
I
like
forgot how to backpedal.
I'm never not in a back pedal this long, or I'm not covering for this long. I'm not used to it. So this is where I'm saying, right, you can get exposed depending on if you're in a certain environment. And I think Gilbert Arenas says it best. He talked about his son of why he didn't join a certain team. Like, oh, it's not about winning championships. I want my son to stand alone on his talent alone. So when he goes somewhere, and let's say if he does team up with everybody, he's not relying on everybody else to win games. He can win the game on his own, but now he can now like, oh, I got you on my team. I can give this off to you now. I can work with you rather than I've never been in that position before. And I think that's very important for people to understand. Yes, it's good to go in an environment where, yeah, y'all gonna win championships, but now if you do get recruited or if you do go to the next level, do you have the talent to stand on your own merit and not just the success of the team? Because if you don't have that talent, you will get exposed, and either you
Man,
come
Josh
in there.
Norman, bro.
You said what?
Josh Norman,
Nah, he got the talent.
man, he can't play man.
He like Richard Sherman.
He's hidden. I'm just saying, like he was one of them hidden corners.
Yeah, he cover three. But that scheme a little different. I think everybody fits a scheme. I think that's everybody.
Man, Ness, you could play in any scheme, though.
I can, but the thing is, if I play in man, and when I was in college, we played man or cover three. And I told the DB coach, I said, let me play off man. He said, no, we try to disguise. I didn't have a lot of interceptions because all we did was press man. I know I play off man. It's not that I'm not better at. I understand how routes are ran, and I'm gonna use my quickness rather
Yeah.
than anything else. So now, but now you're taking that away from me. So I look ordinary but if I play off man, I look extraordinary. So it's not saying you can't do it. It's just everybody's strengths is different.
Yeah, that's how they get kids, though. That's how they do you in the NFL and college and stuff like that. And that's another thing, man. All these kids picking these schools, you guys got to understand what scheme you're playing in. What scheme are you playing in? That's important. Are you playing in a 3-4? You playing in a 4-3? What type of D line do y'all have? Do they got to add more D linemen? That's letting you know that we kind of weak at this position. You're gonna be covering a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about what school, man. It's about what fits you. That's why I always tell kids, man. It's about what fits you. What scheme does this? Like you said, we look at the offensive coordinator. This dude then brought his playbook from his first year here. His first year of coaching, he's bringing whatever he called that first year. All he doing is going up in levels, enhancing his playbook. But he's still going back to the base of where he started at.
Nope. Nope. Nah. I say it all the time. It's fit with that scheme. Bro, what you this topic is real big, man, and Coach Mills kind of alluded to it last week, but these kids are a little sensitive, bro. Sensitive these days. Um, why do you think this generation of kids is so sensitive, man?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you straight out, bro. I don't think it's the kids. Because the kids want to be great.
Mm-hmm.
It's the person with this trying to do this with the kid. You trying to control the kid. You want the kid to be. You get what I'm saying? It's the parents, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's ultimately what I'm getting at. It's the parents. The parents are ultimately accepting things. They're 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 accepting sensitivity. So you're only gonna get that from. You're only gonna get that. You're only gonna get that, man. I had a situation where I was hosting a camp here in St. George. I took a couple kids, um, took a couple kids to the camp to run around, just to run around. A kid was getting ready to get hurt. A kid like the kid was like 3 or 4 years old, right? 3 or 4 years old. I totally understand how it looked. Totally understand how it looked. So we're doing like drills where kids are running around and have to run up and kick the ball into the goal. The 2-year-old runs out. But before he runs out, I like kind of bag him up, like back up, back up. You know what I'm saying? Then he runs out and I couldn't grab him. So I grab him by his hair and bring him back. This is off the side. This is besides football. This is just sensitivity in general. But when I did that, one of the other kids went to another kid and was like, "Oh, if I had a kid, I would have never done that." I said, "Yeah, you probably would have been ran over, and you probably the police. I mean, the ambulance would be here from how soft you are. You know what I'm saying? So I would rather do that than that." But it dawned on me because I'm like, I understand. I mean, he knew the situation. He understood the situation. It's just how are you so sensitive to think that I did this on purpose? How do you think that kids don't get in trouble anymore? Where did the sensitivity come from? I think it came from parents, bro.
Yep.
The parents are allowing these kids to be this way. It's yeah, it's ultimately the parents, I think. It's ultimately the parents allowing the kids to be sensitive, bro. And could you define what sensitive is, bro? And from a from a football's perspective, what is sensitive to you? What is because we have to be sensitive about the world that we live in now. So what's sensitive to you?
Can't take criticism, can't be coached up, um, and always want to.
Always feel entitled.
No, I wouldn't even say entitled. Always want to manipulate the standard. And I think that that third one is more on the coaches. And as a trainer, you're not setting the precedent. But if you set the standard from up front and people know you don't allow things to happen. And I agree with you. It starts with the parents. And
Two different environments. So from my perspective, is it's a coddle culture. This is a coddle culture here in St. George, Utah. Sorry. So
that's going on in all the world. That's not even just
oh, okay. Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely a coddle generation. You know what I'm saying? Where um yeah, I'm not understanding where the sensitivity started at, but I really think that stuff comes from allowing your kids with phones, giving your kids phones. I think a lot of it starts with parents and phones, bro. Like a parents, phones, like all that stuff has to do with you being sensitive. You get what I'm saying? Like certain people laugh at certain stuff that don't certain I don't know, certain people laugh at certain stuff that other people that don't think is funny, but it might be sensitive to others. You get what
so.
I'm saying? So it's a fickle conversation. It's a fickle conversation to have, but I just feel like it's coming from the parents. And like you said, we are the ones who set the standard. Yes, you get kids to go against the standard. You get kids all the time. You're gonna get kids to try to cop out and try to limit test and all that type of stuff. But it's on us. It's on us to keep pushing them. But who are you to push a child harder than he's being pushed at home?
I definitely think that's our job. I think that's why the kids respect us more than their parents because we are pushing them beyond their limits.
Yeah.
And I've heard it. I heard it. I'll give an example of me. Right. I remember my dad, and I'll go and make my point. I remember my dad prior to me getting my driver's license. My dad kept telling me like, Ernest, be careful. There is such thing as HBO. Um, you know,
Help
Not
a brother
HBO,
out.
but not HBO, but Driving While Black, right? I'm like, man, Dad, you tripping? Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. Like you tripping. I get my license, right? I get a car, buy me a car so I can drive to college. From the time I got my car, I think it was 2007, 2008. From the time 2008 to 2000, I want to say 11, 12. I think 11 when I graduated college at Middle Tennessee. I got pulled over 8 times. Not by myself sometimes with other people. I've never been arrested. We got handcuffs. We got guns put out on us. All these things, right? Now, the thing is, though, my dad did me a great service by getting me ready to encounter life as it is as a black man. He got me prepared. He said, Ernest, this is what you say, this is what you do. And because I did those things, I was able to come home at the end of the night, regardless if it was right or what I thought, right or wrong. I was able to go home, which is the most important. The reason why I bring this up is because as parents, we should be getting our kids to encounter what's going to happen in life. But what we do, we enable them. So when an incident pops up, the parent steps in, which hurts the kid later on in life. Because the great thing about life is going to continue to test you. And when a kid goes off to college and he gets tested again in that same thing, guess who that kid is gonna call? He's gonna call that parent because you stepped in and he never had to figure out what to do in that situation, which you are enabling him to develop as a person, their growth mentally, and they have to rely on the parent. So this is why parents are sent. I mean, this is why kids are sensitive because the parents are enabling the kids rather than getting them to encounter what life is going to be. Man, if every time that I went through something and my parents stepped in, how like I wouldn't grow. I have my own kids now. It's some things my kids go through. I don't want them to go through it. I just get them ready, like, hey, this might happen. Hey, this is what we might have to do. If this does happen, this is how we advocate for ourselves. And now if it's detrimental to my kid, of course, I'm gonna step in. But everything in life is not detrimental to our kids, and we need to understand the difference of us helping our kids encounter life and then enabling them. And then once we do those things, we be in a better spot as far as our kids in sports and being sensitive.
Man, I'm glad you brought that up. That situation literally happened this week, man. I'm gonna tell a brief, I'm gonna go into small detail about it because this is literally just something that happened this week. Um, and it's kind of falls over to our next question. I had a parent that came out to a couple of our sessions, like a couple of my sessions, and she comes out all the time. She comes out and supports her child. She comes out and just like any other parent would. Any other parent comes out, they want to record their child. Go ahead, I don't mind that. You want to see the progress of your child. You're paying for this service, so that if you want to do that, go ahead. Um, just so happen to have a young lady out at our camp with older guys, just because I've been training her for about 2 or 3 years. So the confidence that I have in her may not be the confidence she has in herself, but I know what she's capable of doing if I throw her in a situation like that because of what I've taught her. Um, Now, yes, it's a young lady working out with the boys. Now, in situations like that, so for my DBs, I tell my DBs don't touch. All hands, use your technique. It's gonna be receivers that are super duper fast that you're not gonna be able to touch. So in situations like this, use your feet. Use your feet. So I had the young lady go. I had a young athlete going with her. And I just said, use your feet. Don't worry about it. It just so happened that her mom was recording. It just so happened that her mom was recording. Now we know in the middle of the session that I've let the kids know. Don't worry about touching her. Use your feet, please. You get what I'm saying? This, that, and the other. The mom goes and posts it. And puts a comment up there. Hey, my baby's out here with the high school boys, doing her thing. The mom of another kid that's in the video comments on the on the page and says, "Wow, she's making my son look dirty. He should have just shoved her down. Next time, don't worry about it. He'll just shove her down." And it kind of threw me back because I'm like, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. They just working. If you would have seen the reps before this, he put hands on every single person here. You know how we train. I'm not understanding what you're saying. She calls me. So I'm like, okay, I called my phone. I'm like, all right, cool. Make a long story short. She has him text me, but she's texting him coming to his rescue. Hey, why would you do this? Why would you do that? I know the kid don't talk to me like that, so I know he wouldn't. You get what I'm saying? So then the mom steps up and calls me, and is calling her child, pretty much coming to his rescue. She's coming to his rescue, not allowing this kid to speak for himself, not allowing him to express himself. Or, mind you, the kid already knows about the rep. The kid already knows about the rep in the middle of this, because I spoke to him prior to the situation. So, 1 second, real quick. Sorry, Nance.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so at the end of the day, we had a situation where a parent just came to the rescue for a kid, and she felt like she was right. She felt like the video that was posted was belittling to the kid. Um, and I said, well, I asked the kid how he feels and what happened in the middle of the situation. She said, I don't care about the situation. This is my son. You're putting him out there. You're putting him out there to the world. Look how he looks to the world. I said, well, I'm sorry, I don't care about appearance, but he's working. He's getting work. So I apologize about that. And I think that kind of goes into our next question about how do you feel about posting your products? Not that people could take, because they could take it all day. They're not going to be able to explain it in the way that you explained it. But how do you feel about posting your products on your social media? How do you feel about that? Good or bad reps? How do you feel about just going into that? How do you feel about that as a trainer? Do you feel like um, Do you feel there are any barriers there? Do you feel there are any yeah, do you feel there are any barriers there where you can't post, or how do you feel about that?
So I make sure to be conscious of what I post of my athletes. And if you look at my page in general, I try to be positive as possible, right? Even if it's a learning moment, rather it's my athlete or somebody else's. I try to not to be from a negative light. So that's what I think of in general. And for the most part, if it is something negative, there is in their eyes, it's a coaching moment for everybody else because um, the best learning opportunities is learning from other people's mistakes. So if I post something about if something happened to the athlete, then I'm going to more so show the coaching moment rather than the mistake itself. And at the same time, I set the precedent with my kids, my athletes that I'm training with as far as, this is how it should be. And if it's not, I'm always gonna coach them up. But no parent has ever came to me or said anything like that because for the most part, I'm being conscious of what I put out there. And at the same time, I would also address that parent and hear them out as well. But at the same time, have them understand there's a rhyme and reason for why I'm doing these things. And I understand your feelings, but your feelings, just because you have feelings, doesn't make them correct. But I have to respect, right, what you feel. And like you said, I would take it back to that athlete as far as how do you feel about it. And so I don't necessarily think there's a barrier. I think we just need to be conscious overall of what we posting of our athletes, and because there is this thing of how they look on social media, and I know that's real. That is truly real because if a kid get embarrassed, that can go viral, and that can believe it or not, that can be a form of bullying, and because kids are sensitive that can, if that was me, I would take it and like, all right, I got to get better. Not everybody's like that, so we got to truly see that as well as hey, this possibly can offend the kid and be more harmful than helpful to him.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, I appreciate that elaboration.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's just we just gotta be cautious and be strategic of how we do certain things.
Mhm.
Um, So man, this is one of your topics, bro. The difference in coaching and training, and then the disconnect. So what you mean? What you mean exactly by this question, man?
The difference in between coaching and training. I can only give a personal experience because I don't. Obviously, I'm only me. I'm one person. Um, in the environment that I'm in, these coaches hate on the trainers. Um, and the disconnect is you being a head coach and me being a trainer. That's where I think the disconnect is. They don't give us enough value. They don't give us enough credit for our value, if that makes sense. And in this environment that I am, a head coach is just a head coach. He's not calling plays. He's not calling a defense. He's not. He might look like it, but he has a D coordinator and he has an offensive coordinator, and they're running their defense and they're running their offense. Now he can oversee everything,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much how it is here. So my question is how like the disconnect between coaches and trainers. I just really feel like coaches at schools need to give trainers an understanding that we're on your staff too. We just position coaches away from you. We're not hired on your staff, but we're doing everything away from your supervision that those guys under your supervision are doing. And some of us are doing a lot more than those guys under your supervision, coach. You get what I'm saying? So I just think the disconnect is a lot of ignorance in this town. A lot of people. I wish I could say it for the world, bro, but if I go back to California, I don't have these same problems that I have in Southern Utah. You get what I'm saying? So in this specific environment that I'm in right now, it is a it's it's kind of a clash, and I'm not gonna say it's not a clash with everybody. It's a clash with me. I'm very aggressive here. I'm very assertive. I make sure the kids get what they need to get done, so that now it's success. It feels good within the workout. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel the disconnect here and where I'm at is a lack of understanding. A lack of understanding what we can do for this kid, and it's not about reputation. I could care less. Like we said in one of our episodes, I'm not here to be the best trainer. I just want to develop this kid in the best way possible. So if I can help him get to the college that he or she says they want to go to, that's what I want to do for them. So it's the disconnect. I feel like is just the understanding, man. Just get an understanding of what they're doing. No, they're not going to. As a trainer, I've done everything I can to reach out to try to get schemes, but then I work with every single high school. So for me to get a scheme from this high school, that high school, and another high school, I'm not gonna teach kids. I'm not gonna go teaching kids differently than what they position coach are teaching. Position coaches are teaching them. You know what I'm saying? So I've honed in on the basics. Can you backpedal? Can you read the quarterback? Can you read the telltale signs? Can you the basic things that you're gonna go through in any program? 3-step read. Um, watch the 12 personnel, 22 personnel. Small things is what I do. So, I mean, I don't. Do you feel like it's a disconnect between us and head coaches? Like, are you? I'm sure you got more of a broad understanding, just with your experience and stuff like that. But just in not even only in the environment that you're in, just being around football.
So I think there is a disconnect. And let me ask a question before. So most of these coaches, head coaches that you're discussing, are they younger or older?
They older.
See, I think that's what the disconnect is because football is moving it into a new wave. And it's happening in California, and I'm sure it's happening in other places as well, especially my area. There is a lot of coaches who are older who don't understand. Now there are some coaches understanding. They would hire a guy who's at a 7-on-7 team who is a trainer, coach, or whatnot. Now, the only reason why they're doing it though is because they want to get those kids to come to their high school, and they hoping like, hey, because you have this connection, well, then you'll come to the high school. So
Right.
that these things are happening, but it's moving on slowly because the coaches don't understand. Now, I think it is ignorance. I think it is a lack of understanding of how the trainers and the coaches help each other. Now, where I also see this is where I also see this is a coach and a trainer are not necessarily the same thing. And I was actually talking to a young guy, talking to a young guy who trains, but he's also a coach. And we was kind of going into it, right? Like as far as coaching, you really don't have time to develop the kids because of schedule, their schools, all that stuff.
Time. It's timing. Coach
And
is
then
right now. You got to coach right now.
and then a trainer, we got more luxury because they're actually coming to us after school hours, right? So they're actually are dedicating their time to come to a trainer rather than high school. They have all these obligations to fulfill, and then you as a coach, you only have so much time to really coach them up. And then for the most part, there is no development, personal development for the kid. It's more so understanding the schemes and getting them ready to run whatever the school is running, which is where you can now have a fall off because you have 3 guys, 4 guys who are good, they understand talent wise, but now you have 6 other kids who are on the cuff, but they need a little more development. They need some more playing time. But because they don't have that time nor the luxury to invest in themselves, this is where a high school needs to now, hey, connect with a trainer. But until the coaches understand, hey, you know, we got it because I deal with this problem out here as well. And be like, you got it, but in the back end, you might have won. Nobody got out. You guys had no turnovers, and you have a guy who will get out once or twice a year based off how he looks and his potential, not actually him getting better. So at some point in time they'll wake up and hopefully, as trainers and coaches, we're able to actually work it out and make sure this marriage is real good. I got a question on in the same vein. Have you ever coached high school yet or anything like that?
Yes, I've coached high school.
So what do you think is the difference? Because I kind of went into it. What do you think is the difference between being a trainer and being a coach, actually being the coach for the team?
So I think we all around breaking football down as a coach, and we're breaking a position down as a trainer. If that makes sense, like all around, like as a head coach, I meet with the
Not,
offensive
not as a
line.
head coach, not as a head coach, as a defensive coach or a coordinator or something like that.
Okay. So they're not running your system. They're not running your system. They like you. I think it's repeat the question one more time.
So if you're a position coach, let's say you're a DB coach, what is the difference between being a DB coach and being a trainer?
Um, Time is the difference. What you're teaching is the difference. Um, and how you could teach is the difference. That's what I feel like. I feel like you're not preparing for a one-on-one matchup in a team setting. I feel like a trainer, he's preparing you for a one-on-one matchup. Um, Depending on who your trainer is, you know what I'm saying? Just depending on who your trainer is. I'm speaking from how I train my kids. Like, I train and coach my kids, if that makes sense. Like, I train them and I coach them up on why, on the tell, if that makes sense, on the telltale signs. Why you doing this? Why you would do this? Why would this team do this on this down? So during our training, I give telltale signs and give those coaching points. So um, for me, they come together, bro. We just all got to come together. For me, they come together. Now, we don't speak the same language because we don't have the same scheme. You get what I'm saying? We don't have the same scheme, so we're not speaking the same language. So if your corners come over here and you teach you teach your guys to inch, and I'm teaching guys to pure step, you're like, oh, you're doing it wrong. No, he's not doing it wrong. We just added something to his toolbox so that if that technique that you're trying to make him do doesn't work, he can do something that now fits to his game, to fits to his or her stature, to his or her ability. You know what I'm saying? So, man, we just need to come together, bro. We really need to come together, and they really need to just be sending their guys to specific trainers, like here in high school. So you can't give them more time than I can give them. All right, so send all your DBs, send your whole secondary over here if you're a D coordinator. Simple. Come watch if you can. Come watch some sessions. If you can't watch some sessions because of high school rules or something like that,
High school rules. I can tell you why they're not doing this because they want the money themselves. That's why.
right. So you get what I'm saying. So that's for me. For me is that's what it is, bro. When you're a high school coach, when you're a high school coach at any point in level, at any level or anything like that, you want the reputation. You want everything for yourself because you're not playing anymore. You wish you did better. That's why you went back to this high school that you went to. So you get what I'm saying? Like you're kind of micromanaging life. That's how I feel about it.
So where I think when I first heard the question, this is what I was thinking, right? I think all trainers are not ready to be coaches, and I think all coaches are not ready to be trainers. And the reason for this, so as a trainer, you can get caught up in the lack of time that you have because there is a lack of time in a full setting practice. You only have 15 minutes of individuals. Depending on how you run your session with a kid or your group of kids, you got an hour. So you may not be able to run a efficient practice and be efficient where the kids actually learn and get better. At the same time, as a coach, you may not also be able to train because you don't know the details. You're so focused on the big picture of running a scheme that you don't even know how to do a certain. If a kid is like, well, coach, this keeps happening to me. How can I not get beat like this? You don't know, honestly. You really don't. And there's no issue with you not knowing. The thing is, are you going to try to get that information though?
Right.
That
Are you
that's
gonna
the
help?
thing.
Yeah, that's no, they're not. They,
So that's why I think there's a it's trouble. Trainers got to figure out coaching, and then coaches got to understand if they want to train, how to do that. Another thing, as far as for me, how I was efficient as far as coaching, I knew the off season that was where the development was. So we trained a certain way. In season, our whole EDDs were totally different than what we did in the off season. Like the mind shift is totally different. We're not working on total personal development this whole time. I'm not. We got to find a balance of you getting better, but also I'm able to plug and play you in, and you be able to be efficient in what you do, and at the same time be a contribution to the team. So once you find that balance, there's not too many coaches who have that balance. Actually, Dante was a great person at Mount Sac who I saw personally, who was able to do that, where actually we got better in the off season and in season. We also, once we weren't doing certain things, he was able to correct it and then still stay in the same vein as far as making sure we was prepared for the game that week.
Man, what do you think about summertime preparation, grind? How much should you be grinding? And do you feel you put enough work in the summer that when the season comes, you should feel like a robot?
So this this is kind of almost going into the topic I want to discuss. So all right, let me say it like this. Let me say it like this. Repeat the question. Repeat the question though.
So, do you think summertime in this summer block, do you think if you put enough work in within this summer block, you should be a robot by the time in season comes?
What you mean by robot?
When I say robot, meaning you've done so much work to where now it's so much muscle memory that you've added over the summer to where now all you have to do is be thrown into a scheme to execute.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I wouldn't say robot because when you say robot, I'm thinking like you moving as robot, like robotic. I would think so. You would be efficient and more comfortable and moving different and lax on how you actually play rather than when I think about robot, I think like when you first are learning the something, you doing
Oh,
everything to coach.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I understand what you're saying though, but yeah, you should be moving more fluent. You should have more of an understanding, and I think it's not even in the summertime. I think just being comfortable in the scheme. I remember my first year at Mount Sac, like I was playing, but it's like I was still learning while I was playing. That second year, even though I played safety that first year, that second year is my second year in the scheme. I was playing that corner, I understood, so
Right.
I was able to move more fluent because I already knew what we was doing. So I think it comes more so with being comfortable and at the same time working on your craft. But yes, to answer your question, yes.
Yeah. I
Yep.
like I try to hone in on allowing these kids to understand um how important it is right now to attend necessary camps. And when I say necessary camps, um this is college time now. This is your time to be going to these college camps right now. Um these mega camps, not none of that old other crap that you getting emailed and you ain't even never met these people.
Yep.
We talking about USC showcase, spring showcase, USC or UCLA spring show mega camp, where they letting juniors, sophomores, juniors, freshmen, all that type of stuff. Those are the things that you guys got to be paying attention to. And if you guys want, you can come to the 90 Broken Fitness page and check out the camps that we post. We definitely aren't gatekeepers. We open up doors for every single kid that is an athlete. It doesn't matter what sport you're in. Um, that's how we operate. We want to open up the door for you so you can step into where you say you want to be at. You know what I'm saying? So summertime is important, guys. Summertime is super duper important. Like it's like Coach Ike said, all training is important. Summertime, it just has a different feel because you don't have school, you don't have necessarily a responsibility as far as high school. So you want to get a job because you want to spend money and have a lot more fun. But if you understand that you just went all school year without money, you could go to summer without money and grind and show up for a couple more hours and put that work in. You know what I'm saying? So just so you can have better, different results when that end season comes.
Yep. Facts. Facts. Bro, I wanna discuss this topic, man. I've been seeing it on Twitter. Um, I find it truly amazing. Is coaches still out here selling education first to kids when NIL is here, especially when the transfer portal is here? Now, mind you, most of these coaches who are saying this, they are smaller schools, right? And I know they don't have the money. But what do you think about this when these coaches, that's their selling point, talking about when we was in school, it's not about, the playing time is not about this, it's about education first. What do you think about this?
You're not going to school not to get an education. School is about getting an education. That's what it's about. So go on and go up there and not get educated with that NIL. You they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna be working for somebody's tow truck company, or if it's not a bad thing, but you're gonna be doing something you didn't want to do. That's how I feel. That's how I feel in this situation.
So this is how I see it. That tells me you have nothing else to offer if you sell an education.
Well, I
Because
mean,
go ahead. Let me say another thing. Let me say another thing.
for NIL, what was they offering us?
Education. And
You might not be good enough to get that bread, bro. Go get that education.
but it has nothing to do with education. The whole thing is about playing. So when you are selling your 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 selling point is talking about education.
From a college coach perspective, I'm down here thinking, I see what you said. Okay, go ahead.
If you selling me education and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not producing on the field, you can take that away from me so I can't even earn an education.
Right.
So for you telling yourself your pitch is
Yeah,
it's
you're
about
backwards.
it's about the education, that tells me you have nothing else to offer. Nothing else. That
Yeah,
tells me
you can't even scrape nothing up from alumni.
that telling me that y'all facility probably suck.
No
Y'all not winning.
resources.
You in an area that I don't want to play, but because I want to play football and you're giving opportunities, it's some kids who are going to take it, which I'm not saying don't take opportunities. But if me seeing that, I'm like, nah, bro, I'm better off going JUCO. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Because
I got a better opportunity going JUCO and still and maximizing my opportunity. Now that's what I'm doing. You're not just gonna sell me no education. I see what you're saying. With this generation now, you can't just sell education. I'm thinking you saying I went old school. So that's the only thing they sold us. So I was a bit ignorant when you asked that question. That was the only thing they sold us. So I'm like, shoot, what else you going to school for?
I mean, that's all we had then. We couldn't earn, we couldn't do nothing. But
And
now,
that's the answer. That's like an OG answer, I guess. Like
at
that's
some
all
point
we
in
had.
time,
So
at some point
now
in
it's
time, you
totally
gotta
different.
evolve.
Yeah, if you're still only offering education in this new age, man, shut your school down, man. That sounds like Utah Tech. Like the only thing they can say is we got this great business, we got this great business thing, man. We got, man, it's no NIL up here, and it's a new building going up every semester, bro.
But it ain't even about the money. It should be about like you playing, like you're going to be developed. See, this is what everybody thinks is about the money.
I already know.
And and I'm not saying the money is part of it. The thing is, the reason why you're going off to play college as athletes, right? It don't matter
Play
sports. You want the opportunity to play.
right,
I don't care what nobody say. Everybody wants the opportunity to play. Nobody's going somewhere just to be a student, just to be a student. Unless you could have done that outside of just school alone.
you could have got a trade.
Yeah, you could have just applied for school and like I'm done. I'm done playing sports. I'm just gonna be a student. You can do that anywhere. The whole purpose of you going up on a scholarship or you going to play or go out to a team is to get an opportunity to play on the field, regardless what level it is. D3 and IA, D1, it don't matter. Everybody can play at the D1 level. The thing is, do I have an opportunity to get on the field?
Yeah.
And when you are just selling me on education, where once again, if I do something wrong, if I break one rule, or if I'm not producing on the field, you can take that scholarship away from me. Come on, man.
Meal prep is chicken nuggets every day.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah. You coming back, you looking terrible. Yeah, I see what you're saying, looking at it from that perspective. I could totally see that. That's ooh, you seen somebody do that?
I them posted many of times on X. This is you feel me? This is I feel bad. I feel bad. And like I said, for some kids they need to take that opportunity. I'm not saying don't, but it's kind of you are kind of like taking advantage of a kid's certain situation. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
like you'll go to the hood and give somebody a scholarship because you know that's all they trying to get. That's all they that's their way out.
Yeah, like, hey man, we're gonna get you out, but it can be more detrimental for him going out there. And then you gonna kick him out, mess up his name, and don't mind you, don't miss out on no opportunity. Definitely don't. But when you are like, tell the truth though, man. Tell the truth on what you really selling. That's what I want the coaches to do. That's recruiting. Like, be honest in what's going on. That's what I want.
Yeah, that's for me. You don't under promise or over deliver, bro. Like we're not in a position of where we could do that because back to sensitivity. You tell a kid something and you take it away from him. Now he's got to deal with mental health issues, or he's gonna blame it on mental health because we're so sensitive in this generation now that everybody has mental health issues now.
Man.
So yeah, I kind of I understand I understand that I understand that, man. I understand it from that perspective. That makes more sense. It makes a lot more sense.
And then we got to talk about this, bro, because I just recently saw like two schools pop up and aimed at D1. We don't need no more schools, bro. Let's be honest, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's
Bro,
really
you know what it's about.
let's really talk about this, bro. I'm really a lot of colleges are not in desirable places. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck, right? There's probably I think 10 states that is worth actually going to go play football. 10, literally. Now,
If
based,
that,
based off everybody else, right? They giving opportunities to kids. I'm not lying to you. But if they wasn't offering free education, if they wasn't offering, opportunity to get out, a kid would not never choose to go there.
oh, bro, would never be in Utah.
Exactly. Nobody choose to go to Utah off the rip. I love Utah.
USC, bro. I had USC. I wanted to go to USC so bad.
I love Utah. Let me know, and this note, I'm not disrespecting. No, when I say these, nobody wants to go play football in Alabama. I'm talking about the state of Alabama. Nobody wants to go play in the state of Mississippi, right? Nobody wants to go play football in the state of Arkansas, Kansas, and I might even talk the locals. They understand that why you think if you look at their team, Kansas get all JUCO, Kansas State get all JUCO guys, all of them. None of those guys are actually from Kansas. Kansas know they like, look, we got to get all JUCO players, and they good. But JUCO, they need that's an opportunity. Hey man, I'm about to go start 1 or 2 years. I'm gone. How many of them kids is actually from a high school? I'm signing straight to Kansas State. I'm signing straight to Kansas.
You barely get that. Like it's been a 10-year span since a couple kids signed to big schools out here. Like we just had a kid sign to Utah and another kid signed to BYU. It probably won't be another kid signing to big schools like that in a long time here in Utah.
But they staying in the state though. That's fine. If I'm from a state and I know the state, I'm cool signing. But the thing is,
Oh yeah. Now saying that, I'm like you said, me in St. George, I didn't know nothing about it. I'm doing that in the same state because why? Especially if you're in Utah, you know how much money you're gonna get with the NIL up here. They're gonna put something together from a church that shut down years ago.
man, shoot, it's one of our teammates. He from JUCO. He went to a D2. The school shut down, and he was out like in Virginia or something. Like he was like it was the worst situation. It's like, bro, how are these schools just popping up out of nowhere? And you saying we got a football team, and then at the same time, we gotta say this, we gotta say that for another time. But yeah, I just find it truly amazing how a lot of schools are not in desirable places, and because of so many kids, which it's a blessing. Once again, I'm never not thankful for the opportunity, but it's like, bro, a lot of these schools are not in desirable places, and you lucky that it's so many people who want to play football.
And y'all lucky is people out here scraping and scrambling around trying to figure out that yeah. I got people. I want to talk to so many people, bro. I want to tell people, bro, if you D3 and they talking about offering anything, go major in everything. You ain't going nowhere, bro. And if you got desires of going to the NFL, you just might be one of them stories.
Mhm. Oh
And
man.
have them out there, brother.
So, bro, this is I think we can end it on this one right here. Um, what are some drills that you see DB drills on social media that you got questions about, or you just like truly you don't understand?
Bro, I'm next. I do what you taught me and enhance. I don't look at these other trainers like that. I comment on their stuff because I think I can't say I don't look at other trainers like that, then say I comment on their stuff. I see other trainers doing stuff, and if I could look at it for the first 10 seconds and grasp something from it, and I could teach the drill, like I can't explain it the way they did it, but I could teach the drill, then it's a good drill. Um, any drill that I got a question, I'm not about to spend time on that. I'm not about to spend time on that because y'all disrespecting the game, like Mills said.
Disrespected. So what drill is it? If you could explain what the drill is.
Man, I don't even know. I don't look at bull crap, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. That'll mess me up looking at junk because I'm not like that. I got a one-track mind, bro. So if I look at some other stuff, no, I'm literally like a person of respect, bro. If I see you doing it, I respect that you do it, and I know I cannot do it.
Mhm.
I'm not about to try it, bro. Just straight out, bro. I do the Nest, I do D-Roo, um, and Jeff Johnson when I got receivers, bro. Straight out. I don't do nothing, and I'm not taking from nobody. I ain't gonna say I'm taking from nobody. I just pretty much let y'all know that I'm doing what I was taught, but I'm not, in a sense, I don't feel like I'm taking from anybody.
Yeah.
Like how you taught me, you don't feel like I'm taking from you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about the like that's kind of where I'm at with that. You feel me? Like that's kind of where I'm at with that. I'm not, bro. I would literally like I'm telling you straight up on days where I'm like I got a meeting. If I'm in a meeting right now and I had a workout written out, I had a workout plan for the day, and I'm rushing. that's when I'll go and I'll look at a drill from your page or something, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just add this in there today because I know I can explain this quick, and I know we can do this long enough repetitions to where they will have a better understanding. Bro, I'm not taking from nobody else like that, bro, especially if I don't understand it, bro. So if I see some stuff that I don't understand, bro, I seen a dude doing wide receiver drills going backwards.
I know what you're talking about. I think that was a reverse, was it? Did he have it in reverse?
Damn. But that video is showing that look, look, you could do something out here like this, and they will really like it's parents that's like, dude, this guy can really move. You need to like, hold on, he's going back. You would never see a DB doing this. You feel me? So for me, it's just like I'm not necessarily putting myself in a position of where I don't know. I think I'm secure enough in my drills and in my technique and in my coaching to where I use other people to enhance me. Like you've taught me this. I partner with other people through Instagram. So I'll use the drill that you've taught me, but I'll put a little something on it. So a lot of people think what I do is a T-step drill. It's not a T-step drill. It's a top of the route drill. Because nobody works the top of the route. It looks like a T-step. It looks like the same thing like a T-step. But I got my guys sitting at the top of the route, one foot on the ground and the other foot up, and all we doing is triggering. We triggering and going. Why are we doing that? When you get to the top of the route, when you get to the midpoint of the route, this is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to do this T-step. So I give them base understanding of that. If somebody don't understand and they looking at it like, what is this? Bro, you don't gotta this is me explaining it. This is not a T-step. This is not a T-step. This is a trigger step. I can tell you what a T-step is, and I can show you what a trigger step is, and I can tell you what the difference in those are. Now, you might use it and say it's the same thing. You might call it one word. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I don't do that Instagram stuff, bro. What you think about it though? I know it irritates me, but you got to be more irritated about who these people are giving it to, because that's what because you're misleading a generation or you're misleading a human being.
So there's two drills, and I've always had this question about the first drill. And I see stuff just pop up on my social media sometimes, and you just see it. I never understood, and I ask questions like I literally would DM a person like, "What does this drill do?" Because I'm just a curious person. When they jump, when they have a DB keep flipping their hips over a hurdle, I don't understand the point of it. Me personally. And I've asked people about it, and it's just
Straight.
yeah, they just keep flipping. So they'll keep flipping like the hurdles here, and they just keep flipping over the hurdle their hips. And I'm assuming they're working hips. I'm assuming, but other than that, I don't know what the purpose of it is for. Do you know?
I had one of my DBs do that because he couldn't open. So in off man, when you play off, that's very to me, that movement is similar to you doing that movement.
Going lateral though?
Upfield.
Okay, so I can see going upfield. These people are lateral, like you would be pressing, and they keep going
No,
back and forth.
no, he's lateral. So I'm in bail this way. The ladder's right here, and I'm having him go over like that. He's not standing straight, taking that's track, I think.
So I understand the drill because at that point in time, they're running though, and then they're opening up.
You opening the gate.
So I understand that, but the thing is, as a DB, when is your feet ever gonna be that high in this situation with the hurdle? When will you ever cross over your feet and your feet be that high? Both feet are off the ground at that point.
Yeah. If you put a hurdle on the field.
Hey.
I can see it working. That's the only way I can see it working.
Hey, and I'm not saying it's a bad drill. I just personally, I want to know what it's for. And
Yeah,
people say,
it's no purpose behind it. It's no Yeah, bro. Once you said that, it kind of threw me off because like that's a warm up drill to me.
like I'm just, and I was just telling somebody, I was like, I have drills when I put guys in bad situations. Like I know you're not gonna be in a situation, but I
But this is for
understand.
drill purpose. This is only for drill purpose.
Yeah, like I understand what is, I know what I'm looking for and I can explain why, but I'm not going to have you do this drill. And everybody does this drill. I'm not saying like a couple of people, everybody has a hurdle when they keep flipping over and over and then they open up. And I'm just like, well, when will your feet ever be off the ground like that? And that as a just a DB. And then the second drill, I've been I don't understand this why a lot of people they've been working on like Bellin, and then the receiver is getting in a blind spot. I understand the drill. Why do you need to work on it? First of all, that tells me that you didn't bail correctly. That's what that tells me. Because if you bailing, nobody should be on your blind spot right away. Nobody should be getting into your blind spot, honestly.
Man, you know what? That's very interesting that you say that. But I got kids that I have to do that drill with to get them to understand that this happens in football.
It does. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, so I got to do it from that perspective. So I get what you saying. Like I got to do it from that perspective because these kids just started playing football in the 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to teach you what a blind spot is. I got to teach you what the receiver might do if he gets right here. So I understand, like, for me, I have to teach that because they lack it here. So, like, if that's a perspective that you could take, like, oh, they might just lack it in that area.
But how many of those people are actually going to be in that position? Because honestly, if you're a corner, right, that can happen. If you're a linebacker or a safety and you never come down, who's going to be in your blind spot?
So
The
you're beat.
the nickel that can happen.
You beat for the most part because you like the safety, last line of defense, and linebacker. You like if you're not looking at your assignment or you're not if you're not on your assignment, it's a wrap. It ain't no point in
So
it's really no point in that.
I think this is I ask a question. My question will be to that: why is everybody working on that? And then my second question is that player in that scheme that does it. So if we playing Sarah Exchange, and number one is locked up, and then you got number two, and they comboing number two and three, that safety who's down, that nickel guy, he can be in a bail and he can get his blind spot because of how much space is it. That makes sense to me.
Should be slowed down by the time the receiver should be slowed down by the time he get there.
You feel me? But that tells me though, at the same time, if he's bailing, first of all, he shouldn't be bailing from there. You can't see nothing. If he's bailing too slow, he can't see what three is doing. So
Right.
now you're not teaching the drill correctly. It looks nice. Don't get me wrong. My question is, I understand the drill. My question is, why is everybody doing this and do it fit the scheme for the player?
Are they confusing the quarterbacks?
How you confusing the quarterback you spent around? You
I'm
can't
just trying to answer the question. I'm just trying to answer because I don't understand it either. Because I don't. My thing is, I always tell my DBs, I can't teach you this way. I can't. So when we do like one on ones and stuff like that, and they get beat in a situation, I always go back and say, I can't teach you how to get beat. You get what I'm saying? So if I'm putting you in, if like you have to get beat for me now to be like, oh, this is what you did wrong.
Yeah, I understand. Yep.
I don't have a blind spot drill. These niggas start you off. My bad. They start you off in a blind spot drill. They will have you bail up the field with a man right here, and then look this or something. Any type of drill. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I would. The only reason why I can honestly answer that is because these kids don't know what a blind spot is. That's my answer. Like, if anybody asks me, why are you teaching that, or what would make you teach? No, I'm not teaching them to lose. I'm teaching them that it is possible that he can do this move and end up here
Mm-hmm.
in this blind spot. You got what I'm saying? So, man, that's a hell of a question, bro. I would love to ask somebody with a deeper, with a not even a deeper, a more um broader perspective. Not even more broad, but just a different perspective.
And
Just
I
to
actually
get an
seen,
understanding.
I actually just seen a clip. I actually posted it. I'm gonna post it in my story tomorrow where the DB he was playing man. They playing doing one on ones. This is NFL doing one on ones, and the receiver got in his blind spot. And honestly, I was just like, the DB's trying to beat him like he's running a fade, and the receiver did a comeback. If you trying to beat the receiver to the fade, and we know the fade not being ran all the time, of course he's gonna get in your blind spot. You are trying to beat him on a go. He's not running the go. He gonna do whatever he want. But
You might as well be the receiver.
but why would you even put yourself in that position though? That's what I'm that's why I ask questions. Like once again, I'm not saying I know everything. I want to have the understanding. And when people not gonna understand my drills unless they ask me a question like what you working on. So I'm not saying that. I just want to know at one point in time will you pull this drill out though, or when will the player execute this
In the game.
in a game?
Where does it translate?
You feel me? Because I'm all about press bell. I'm all about it. I actually got a video on it. I'll post that too on how to when a receiver tries to get you a blind spot. I
Yeah,
may
you can do that.
I made posts about it, so I understand it. And everything doesn't need to be my. I'm not saying it has to be my way. I just like to ask questions on why we are doing this, and I don't think enough players, coaches. I mean, not players. Not. I mean, not coaches, but players. And I ask them a question like, "Coach, when will I do this? When will
Man, let me tell you. Oh, that's crazy. Dude, back to the coaching understanding. I got a kid that will literally go ask a coach a question and he lacks so much experience, he can't even explain to the kid. So now the kid ain't on the field because the coach would rather have somebody that understands rather than to explain. So I say, dude, why would y'all put people in these positions if they can't explain? What type of interview process are these people going through to get these jobs? Do y'all understand? These are people that kids are going to remember forever,
but Aaron,
good or bad.
Aaron, this is going on in college. This is going on in the NFL. Just to let you know.
Oh, that is wild.
Just just to let you know. I'm not gonna say no names, but guys I've trained, but like, you know what the coach told me about this? Like, what? You are at a you are a D1. You are a in the NFL and the coach is telling you this. So yeah, bro. Yeah.
Why they restricting us, bro? We can't ask questions now. We ain't gonna play.
It's not about asking questions. They don't have the answer to it. They don't. And Mills hit on this last week because guys are put in position because they know somebody and they started as a video coordinator and then they worked their way up. I this is my boy story. I'm telling it. My boy got drafted to the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 6th round. The corner coach never played corner in his life. He played running back. And he only played running back in high school. The only reason why he had the job is because his boy was on the coaching staff and hired him. Do you know? Do you?
That's how man, so if y'all looking for a job or you want an opportunity for your first coaching job, apply to Utah Tech because you could get a job here easy. You could come here and this is your first stepping stone, and you could go to Alabama after this. I had a kid, my boy was here um playing with me. Then he coached with the coach because the coach brought him from Snow College. The guy is at West Virginia now. So this is a very much so referral town. If you know somebody here now, staying good because you gonna be somewhere further. The coaches even recruit the players by saying you only trying to come here for a year, huh?
Mhm. But
Like, bro,
they
I
know
mean,
that they know they recruiting tactic. If everybody know what they doing, like Idaho coach, he said, I respect him. He said, "You not coming here to get an NIL. You coming here to play 1 year and transfer out to get the bag." And players respect it because they're like, "Shoot, you know we're trying to leave." He's like, "I want y'all to leave. We gonna win and we gonna get out." He did his thing at New Mexico State. Now he probably saying the same thing at New Mexico
bro,
State.
everybody over there,
You feel me? So
and he just moving up the rankings.
I respect coaches like that who they know they program, they know what they trying to do. They're not lying to the kids. They're not trying to sell education themselves just alone. And they like, this what we offering, and we gonna get y'all there. Believe in what we got going on, we gonna get you there, man.
Man, universities is becoming JCs, man.
Hey, hey, during this time, at this point in time, if you not high enough, that's how you need to see yourself. That's how
I
you
love it, man. It's gonna help us follow up into our next conversation next week for sure.
oh man.
'Cause
This is a good one, man. This was a good one. Good one, good one. Man, we took a lot of flags on the culture. We went into some crazy times, man. A lot of things, man. But Aaron, bro, is a good one, bro. Anything else you want to add before we get off?
Nah, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Me and Coach Ike doing our best, man, and just to give y'all as much information as we can with the things that we know. If y'all man, when y'all see the post, let us know what y'all want to hear. Let us know the topics that y'all want to discuss. Let us know if you want to be a guest. Even DM us. You can DM Not Easy Broken Fitness page, or my personal page, or you can DM Coach Ike DB Training, or Authority Sports, correct?
No, just Coach Ike's DB training. Yep.
Okay, just Coach Ike DB Training, man. You guys DM us. Let us know. Um, and man, me and Coach Ike talk about it. We'll talk about getting you on the show. We got a couple people that we want to get on. We got a couple people loaded up. We got a good list coming for y'all this summer, man. We got some great things coming, and we want to just keep y'all tuned in, man. Keep throwing these flags on the culture. We hold ourselves accountable all throughout the day, all through life. So, man, we do our best to live and inspire and hold everybody accountable, man. You can't get help lying to each other, you
Right.
know. So we doing our best to throw some flags on the culture and give y'all a better understanding, man. And Coach Ike, I appreciate you, man, for taking time out your night, just to show us some love and give back and inspire these people, man.
Nah, man, we doing this together, make an impact, man. But appreciate y'all. Until next time, y'all have a good one, man.
Peace out.